You're listening to the 88.3 FM WXUT, Toledo's only alternative. It is currently 11:02 a.m., and we are broadcasting from the top of Parks Tower, Toledo, Ohio. And welcome to the Vibin with JJ show with me, your host, Jeremiah Jefferson. Hope everyone's doing good this morning. It's a cold morning today. This morning, I mean, it's been starting to get more colder and colder within these past few weeks. I think last week's probably the coldest that's been. Right now, it's currently 51 degrees, and I'm the type of person that gets cold super fast. So if it gets cold, then I'm like cold super fast. If it's someone like my dad, it'll be like cold in the house, and he'll wear shorts and a tank top. I'm like, you gotta be some type of alien. But nonetheless, we are back with the Vibin with JJ show, and then there's some stuff that we want to talk about. Rant I want to get into later on, and we're going to go over all 30 teams in the NBA, so let's break it down and get into it. And we're going to start off with college football, and the first thing that I want to talk about is how Brian Kelly this past weekend got fired after our loss to Texas A&M and LSU. He got fired, and his buyout was over $54 million, which is crazy. That's an expensive buyout. It just wasn't working. They were a top 10. They were ranked top 10 in the nation before the season. And they beat Clemson at the time, which Clemson was looked at as like a quote unquote good team. And I never thought Clemson was really good like that. And then LSU, they were ranked in the top 10, was like the most they were ranked this season. And then all of a sudden it just started breaking down, and then it was just loss after loss, disappointment after disappointment. And the offense wasn't playing good. The defense is great. The defense is great on the team, but the offense, Garrett Nussmeier was disappointing. He wasn't really able to do anything out there. Just overall, it's been a disappointing season for LSU, which they're not even ranked right now. And this overall led to Brian Kelly being fired. And I think he could just tell, look, like if you saw his reaction towards the end of the game, he could just tell that was the end of the season. Their styles didn't mesh, and that's why they were never like successful like that. And just overall, at the end of the game, like as 2 games, LSU lost. People were saying fire Kelly and stuff. So LSU, they decided to move on Brian Kelly. And now if Brian Kelly decides like not to coach, he'll still get to have his $54 million, and LSU have to pay that. So there's going to be a lot of eyes looked at LSU, one of the top programs in the country. I know they haven't done good this year, but they're for sure one of the top programs in the country. And so maybe you got different names out there that they're going to try to target. You know, they're going to try and maybe target Nick Saban and Urban Meyer, maybe get some calls. You don't know if they're retired and stuff like that, but they might get some calls. People throwing around James Franklin, Matt Rule. People have tried throwing around Kirk Cignetti, Dan Lanning, which I feel like they're most likely not leaving because they got something good going on where they're at. And then also you got teams and people saying like Billy Napier and Matt Rule might be candidates. So we'll see what happens. I believe they're not going to leave, in my opinion, but you never know. College football, this season's been a crazy season. This has been the first time, well, football in general, it's been the first time where I've been invested watching football every Saturday and Sunday. Now it's literally any, you know how they say every Sunday anyone can be. Now instead of that, you can now say it's every Saturday and Sunday. So looking forward to that, and just looking forward to see where LSU goes next after the season. We got some tough games we got to play next, but see how they turn around. Let's get into these games happening this past weekend. First up, UCLA UCLA faced Indiana, and Indiana absolutely destroyed UCLA 56-6. Before this, last week, I was saying this might be like a trap game maybe because UCLA was on a win streak after being Penn State. They had momentum, so I was like thinking they might turn the season around. But Indiana, with Fernando Mendoza, has literally dominated them. There's no like weakness on Indiana's team offensively, defensively. They're doing their thing, and I know Indiana doesn't like look like as like fondly as like one of the top teams. People would think they're like still not good because they quote unquote haven't faced anyone, but they're a capable team. After that Oregon win they had this season, that impressed me a lot. And I was kind of one of the people that were saying like Indiana, they're not like that. They're not good like that, and they should not be in the top 10. They should not be top 5. But after wins against like Oregon and wins like this against UCLA and all of that stuff, Indiana's legit, and they can most definitely compete for a national championship. It's all led by, like I said, their quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, who's absolutely playing good this year. Over 1,900 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. He's the leading candidate for the Heisman, and it's not surprising why he's been balling. Offensively, defensively, Kurt Cignetti has got Indiana rolling. They're looking to continue the momentum to the rest of the season to the Big Ten championship and then to the college football playoffs, which I see them competing in. So Indiana continues their domination. UCLA, I thought Nico Iamaleava was going to do good, but he couldn't really get anything going in this game. Had 2 interceptions. Just Indiana dominated the whole game, and UCLA wasn't able to do much. So Indiana with a dominant win today, and they're looking to continue to be undefeated for the rest of the season. We'll see how far they can go and how far they can potentially go into college football playoffs rankings and compete in the championship. So the next game that's available, that's on here, that happened this weekend, that's an even, like I said, Texas A&M beat LSU 49-25. This game was looking close. LSU had the lead at halftime, 18-14. It was competitive at first, but then later on, as the game went on, especially in the third and fourth quarter, it officially was like over after that. Marcel Reed, absolutely dominant game. More than 200 yards passing, more than 200 yards passing, more than 100 yards rushing. If you can have your quarterback, he's been balling out this whole year, and with the receivers they have, and like Mario Craver and Casey Concepcion and other players like that, they have a balanced offense. Their defense isn't that bad. I'm not going to say it's the best, but they can do their job. They held LSU to just only 7 points in the second half. So Texas A&M, they're showing why they're also up there for like one of the best teams in the country and why they should be taken serious as well. And they're looking like an SEC title contender, so, and a playoff team. So Texas A&M, they still look good. Marcel Reed has been looking good, and he's been playing good this year. And if you got a quarterback that can throw the ball and run with the ball, it's tough to be stopped. So Texas A&M's a good win to go down to LSU, which is a very, very tough environment. Go down to LSU and pick up a victory. And LSU faces another loss. Garrett Nussmeier not really having the best stats. His passing only threw for like 5 yards a throw. That means you're just throwing short passes the whole game. And LSU's defense, who's been really good this season, couldn't stop Texas A&M, and they couldn't do anything. And then this led to Brian Kelly getting fired and LSU not being ranked. So their season's over. When it comes to playoffs, they got no other shot to make it. I mean, they face Alabama. Well, they're on a bye this weekend, but games against Alabama, Oklahoma, I don't even know, Arkansas. It's their season's over. So their season over, and as for Texas A&M, they're going to continue the momentum and look to defend their crown for the SEC. Well, not defend, keep their higher seed as the SEC in the SEC and continue to be dominant. So Texas A&M defeats LSU 49-25. Alabama goes down to South Carolina and defeats them 29-22. This is a comeback from behind win from Alabama. At first, throughout the first 3 quarters, South Carolina had the lead, and they're leading this game and everything. At one point in the game, the score was, they were down 14-22 at one point. And so Alabama, it's not the same Alabama as before, but their willingness to bail from behind and continue to play good continues. Alabama, led by Ty Simpson, he didn't really have the best of game. I mean, he played solid with 253, 2 touchdowns. He played solid and couldn't really get anything going. Alabama's run game has been non-existent this year, and I mean literally non-existent. Their leading rusher, Jam Miller, only has 308 rushing yards as their lead rusher. They've had Jeremy Bernard as their, I think, one of the leading rushers on their team, which is not good. If you have a wide receiver as one of your leading rushers on the team, that means you cannot run the ball. And Alabama cannot run the ball at all this season, and that could possibly affect them towards the end because you need to have a balanced attack, throwing the ball and running the ball. You can't just rely on the passing in order to lead you to victories. So they need to absolutely lock in and do what they can in order to win the game. And the defense for Alabama, they're all right. I'm not going to say they're the best country, but they're above average. And they do what they can to get wins. They're a bend-don't-break defense, and in this game, they were able to hold South Carolina, which South Carolina is in no slouch. They kind of been disappointing throughout the whole season. I'm about to say they were hyped with Lenore Sellers at the beginning of the season, because at the beginning of the season, they were ranked 13th, but then losses after loss after loss, like 3 straight losses, has affected them and made them. It's just been disappointing for South Carolina. So they still can compete, but they lost again to another top team in Alabama, and they're leading, but Alabama held the fight and able to come in this game and come up with a win. So Alabama still looking good. They're still showing why they're a top 5 team in the nation, and why it really could be them at Texas A&M in the SEC championship. So I think those are their 2 worthy championship contenders for the SEC. And I think both Texas A&M and Alabama will most definitely make the playoffs. So it's all going to be about who finishes the season better and who wins that championship in the SEC. So we'll see what happens. Again, good game by Alabama and a good comeback from behind victory for them. The next game is Ole Miss and Oklahoma. Ole Miss comes out with a victory in Oklahoma, 34-26. Ole Miss and Trinidad Chambliss comes down to Oklahoma and puts on the beating on Oklahoma. Ever since John Mateer's gotten surgery, they have not been the same. Like before he got injured, he was the Heisman favorite to win the Heisman. Ever since then, it has not gone the way they've wanted. They've lost games against Texas and lost this past game against Ole Miss. So it's not been going the way that they've wanted to. I mean, John Mateer, he played all right in this game, but not as dominant as he was earlier this season. Stats have kind of been off. I mean, they've got some production with Isaiah Sategna third. I think that's how you say his name. He had 131 yards and a touchdown. And so they were trying to do their best, but at halftime it was 22 to 10. Yeah, it was 22 to 10. And then Oklahoma was starting to rally back and get some good plays to come out. At one point, they were leading the third quarter 26 to 25. But after that, Oklahoma, they weren't able to get anything going. So tough loss for Oklahoma, and they have not looked the same since the beginning of the season. Since Amateur went down, so a tough loss for Oklahoma. And currently, right now, they're ranked 18, and so they're going to need a few more good wins in order to win this game. I mean, their schedule does not get easier. They got number 14 Tennessee at Tennessee, and then they play at Alabama, then they play Missouri, and then LSU. So those are 4 tough games to play, and in order to make the playoffs, they're going to have to win like all those games and win every single one of those. So tough schedule for Oklahoma, and we're going to see how they do. Because if they're able to pull all those out, then they can most definitely make the playoffs. They lose one of their games, I think your season. I think if any team has 3 losses, then you're not going to the playoffs. And so if they lose one more time, their chances of going to the college football playoffs are going to be down the drain, in my opinion. So tough loss for Oklahoma. And as for Ole Miss, another good win for Ole Miss against a top 10 team. And now they're ranked number 7. And they just look good overall. Trinidad Chambliss looks solid out there. Their run game is solid. Their wide receiver core is good. Their defense is solid. So Ole Miss has been rolling and has been doing good out there and continuing to show why they're one of the big SEC favorites. If I had to choose, I'll still pick between Alabama and Texas A&M to face each other in the SEC championship. Just because both teams have been really good this season. Alabama's been resilient. Texas A&M has just been handling their business. So good win by Alabama and Texas are on 2 games. Good teams if I see out the SEC championship. But watch out for Ole Miss. They will be up there for sure. Missouri and Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt defeats Missouri in the top 15 showdown. And Vanderbilt has been resilient the whole year. Diego Pavia, he is confident for sure. He be in his bag talking smack for sure. And they're just stacking up wins, and it's crazy. If you would have told me that Vanderbilt and Indiana will be in the top 10 right now 2 years ago, even last year, I wouldn't have believed you. But they're both in the top 10. Vanderbilt comes out, and it was a defensive battle throughout the whole game. Vanderbilt had control of this game for the most part. Vanderbilt's defense came through against a solid Missouri team, and Diego Pavia controlled the game. Didn't really make. I mean, he did throw an interception, but didn't really make as much mistakes. Just gave it to the running back, Mackay and Young. He had four carries for 86 yards and a touchdown. So it was more of a defensive battle than offense, as you can see by the score. Vanderbilt, the story of Vanderbilt, I mean, Missouri, I think people were just thought Missouri was going to be good ever since the beginning of the season because they've been ranked. Well, they haven't been ranked, but they've been doing good, beating teams of that nature. So Missouri, I'm going to say, solid team, but Vanderbilt, what a story by Vanderbilt. For years, not being ranked, never in my life have I seen Vanderbilt be good. They're always the bad team. I think Vanderbilt's more of a, I don't even think they're like known for sports. They're more focused on like academics and sports. But literally, ever since that win against Alabama last year, it's changed their program around. It's one of their biggest wins of all time. And ever since that game, their momentum and their whole school has changed for the better. Vanderbilt, after like literally not being good in the past, has literally been balling out this year. And last week when they went 6-1, it's their highest. They've been ranked in 75 years, which is crazy. 75 years, that's insane. So the resilience of Diego Pavia, which he's been in his bag. He's been going crazy and bragging like crazy. He's been cocky. That's a cocky man right there. Because he's been doing the Heisman polls and real stuff like that. I mean, that man is bold, almost like Johnny Manziel. And he's been talking and hanging with Johnny Manziel. So, man, Diego Pavia's just leaving them to wins. And Vanderbilt, they're a sneaky team. They are a sneaky team. I know they lost to Alabama, but they are a really sneaky team. So, watch out for them. And if they continue to win like this, they're going to be up there in the college football playoffs ranking. So, sneaky team Vanderbilt is, but they got the win this past Saturday and they beat Missouri 17-10. Next up, BYU and Iowa State. At first, I picked Iowa State to win this game just because they were ranked earlier, and I feel like they had a good momentum earlier in the season, but it's kind of been disappointing. And well, it was kind of close at first, It was what was it, 24-17. At one point, it was 27-27, and by the beginning of the fourth, and then BYU took control of the game. As for Iowa State, Rocco Becht, he had 300 yards, but had 3 interceptions. You cannot win if you throw in more interceptions than passing touchdowns. You cannot win that game, but their run game was really good with Carson Hansen. The wide receiver game was pretty solid out there, and they had chances, but they couldn't capitalize. And as for BYU is looking really good with Bear Bachmeier, who's wearing a weird jersey number. He's a quarterback who wears number 47. That's got to be one of the weirdest jerseys of all time. I have no idea why he wears number 47. I have to look it up, and I'll let you know next week on the next week's show why he wears number 47. But 47 from a quarterback is very weird, in my opinion. But he did his thing out there, had more than 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was a lean rusher, but they couldn't really get the rushing going. But we're talking about receiving core. Both the BYU receivers, Parker Kingston and Chase Roberts, both had more than 120 receiving yards and did really good out there. And they actually did their job and did their thing out there. So credit the BYU for winning that game against a tough Iowa State team. They're not easy, not no slouches, but good. It's a good team. BYU is a good team, looking really good from the Big 12, and they'll be up there competing with teams like Texas Tech and Cincinnati for that Big 12 championship and looking to use it to carry the momentum. Memphis upsets South Florida with a score of 34-31. What a game by Memphis. Overall, this game was competitive throughout the whole game, and then Memphis was able to come from behind and pick up a good victory against a good USF team who's been good throughout the whole year. It was close. Memphis came from behind and scored 17 points in the fourth quarter to make it tied, to make them go up 34-31. They scored with 3 minutes to go. And USF had a chance to tie it, but their kicker missed a field goal at the end, and that cost them like really bad. And that's a heartbreak. If you have a chance to tie the game or take the lead, and your kicker misses it with like minutes to go, like a minute to go or like seconds to go, that is most definitely heartbreaking for a team and like kills your momentum and absolutely destroys your momentum throughout the game. So USF lose to Memphis. As for USF, it was a good start for them throughout the season. Beginning of the season, they defeated teams like Boise State and Florida when they were ranked. Then lost, got dominated by Miami. But they were still on a roll, defeating teams, dominating teams, actually. And then when it got to some competition, faced Memphis was able to come from behind and stop them. So USF had opportunities to win and close out the game and come up with a victory, but they couldn't really capitalize. And as for Memphis, that's a great win for their program because Memphis, when you think of Memphis football, you don't really think of that much. I mean, a significant player that came out of Memphis was Paxton Lynch, and he didn't really get any playing time. He wasn't really that good in the NFL, but Paxton Lynch was good for them, and that's like one of the only significant times their football team was like good like that. So for them, this is a program-defining win and something to use for the rest of the season. As for USF, this is absolutely a tough loss for them. They got unranked from being number 18, and sucks for them to see them lose like this after all the momentum they had, and they'll be looking to try to see if they can come out with like maybe like a bowl win. They're eligible to make a bowl game, so we'll see if they'll be able to make a bowl game, I guess. Next up, I didn't have these in the notes, but I just looked at the score. Virginia defeats North Carolina in a very, very close game, 17-16 in overtime. Man, what a close game this was. Virginia are still like being resilient, and even though it's against the North Carolina team, isn't good. To be able to stick with the game and defeat a team away at a road game and to stick with them like that is pretty impressive. Virginia is still like right there on the edge of a SEC. Of me in the college football playoffs. They're ranked 15, so they're like 3 spots away from there. If they can build up some more wins and continue to stay it out the rest of this year, I feel like they will be good for the rest of the season. They just need to continue to build momentum and continue to come up with more wins. Their upcoming schedule, let me see their upcoming schedule. I mean, they got some solid teams like California to face. That could be their toughest matchup. More than that. We'll have to see what they do. But unbelievable that Virginia is good. It's just crazy. Virginia, Vanderbilt, and Indiana. Who would have thought that those teams would be in the top 15? If you told me all 3 of those teams were in the top 15, even last year, if you would have told me that, I wouldn't have believed you at all. But here they are, and here they are. Man, this season's been crazy. Absolutely insane. What season is on? It is right now. But Virginia gets a win. North Carolina, they have not been good this year. Bill Belichick has came up and not done good. They were competitive this game, but been absolutely disappointing for North Carolina. And Bill Belichick, I think he might be fired this year. Even though maybe his buyout might be super expensive, I think he's going to get fired this year for sure. So let's see what happens today. I don't know. Whether see what they do next year. And like I said, I think Bill Belichick is fired, and that's for Virginia. Good resilient win, and you want wins like this for sure in order to pull out victories. Next up, Texas defeats Mississippi State in overtime. Most definitely, if I had to say, I have to say this is Arch Manning's best game of the season so far. He had to come out later in the season. I mean, not later in the season, later in the game due to a concussion, but they were down 31-14 at one point. I'm pretty sure, yeah. I am pretty sure they were down 31-14 looking at the... Yeah, they were down 31-14, even at one point 21-38. But this is most definitely a resilient win by Texas. What a comeback win for them. And defeat Mississippi State, who was hanging in there earlier to see with Tennessee in the overtime game. Looked really solid. Texas, this shows how they still can be resilient and can still be good out there. Arch Manning had 346 yards, 3 touchdowns. This is most definitely his best game of the season. Let me forget that. The best game of his career so far in his young career. He can most definitely, if he can use his momentum, hopefully he's okay after that injury that he had. If he can come in and do good for this season, then I think they'll be on the right track. And people have been hyping them up, and it's kind of been a disappointment for Texas. But people have been hyping them up and saying they could be a really good team. But it's been really disappointing. They were ranked number 1, then we're just ranked out the top 10, and then they were ranked non-ranked after losing to Florida. Now we're back ranked and came back from behind to have 2 resilient wins back-to-back against Mississippi State, Kentucky. And I know those teams aren't really the best teams like that, but Texas in their fight in back-to-back overtime game, resilient. And this is something that they need. Ryan Wingo came out there and absolutely good. He didn't have a touchdown, but he had 184 yards receiving. And it was a good game overall for Texas. They really couldn't do anything. I'm going to say they really didn't play good defense, but offensively they looked real good. I think their rushing wasn't really like that. But credit to Texas for coming back from behind, down 31-14 at one point, 21-38. Sorry, I can't talk. And it's a good win for them for sure. Then the last game, last two games, Houston defeats Arizona State 24-16. I picked Houston to win this game, and I was right. Something about Houston this year has really impressed me and made me impressed with them. Now they're ranked number 22 and looking to improve with this season. A tough loss for Arizona State. They were ranked like number 11 this season, but have been unranked. So, like I said, it was a tough loss for them, and they couldn't really do anything. So, good one for Houston. Bad loss for Arizona State. And then last game I want to talk about, Michigan defeats Michigan State. Michigan, well, it was just like how Michigan played in the past few years. Control the game, run the ball, and that's what he did. Bryce Young only had like under 100 yards, but Justin Haynes and Jordan Marshall both had over 100 yards rushing, so they're dangerous when it comes to rushing. Looks like they got a double dynamic duo in rushing with Justice Haynes and Jordan Marshall. So be on the lookout for Michigan, and it was a good win for them, and they'll be continuing to win. I think they have the potential to go 9-2 going to the Ohio State-Michigan game, which will be in Michigan. That's always a tough game, so see how they do for the rest of this season. Now we can get into some predictions. The rest of the week, I'm going to make this quick since I spent a lot of time talking about college football. First up, Penn State versus Ohio State. Even though Penn State has been struggling all this year, I feel like this could be a trap game in this game, possibly. Ohio State just handles their business and able to stop the run and stop their quarterback from throwing the ball, their backup quarterback. Then Ohio State got it. So, of course, I got Ohio State. Texas versus Vanderbilt. I don't know how Arch Manning's feeling, but in my opinion, I got Vanderbilt winning. Diego Pavia has been just doing his thing out there and doing whatever they can to lead him to win. So, give me Vanderbilt. Miami versus SMU. I'm taking Miami. I'm just going to go quick with this. Georgia versus Florida. I got Georgia. Oklahoma versus Tennessee. I'm going to go with Tennessee. USC versus Nebraska. I got... Who am I going to go with that? I think I'm going to go with USC win that one. And then Cincinnati versus Utah. Give me Cincinnati to win this one. So that's everything college football. Now we're getting to NFL. We got a lot of stuff that happened. But first off, I do want to say rest in peace to Nick Mangold. He passed away this Sunday at 41 years old due to chronic kidney failure. Like I said, he was 41. He passed away this Sunday. He was a center, played for Ohio State Buckeyes, played in the NFL for 10 years. He played all those 10 years for the New York Jets. He was a 7-time Pro Bowler, 2 times first-team All-Pro, 1 time second-team All-Pro, and a 2026 Hall of Fame candidate inductee. So that's just a sad loss and sad thing to see. Someone that young of age passing away is just sad to see. Probably a father, husband, a son, an uncle to someone. Rest in peace to Nick Mangold, and hope his family can heal from this. It's always tough to lose someone like that. All right, once again, R.I.P. to Nick Mangold. We had some injuries that took place this weekend. First off, Cam Skattebo is going to be out for the season with an ankle dislocation. I saw the play. Well, basically what happened, I wasn't able to see the play about what happened. They didn't really show it at all. So when they don't show it on TV, I just immediately look up Twitter, and literally Jackson Dart threw it to Cam Skattebo, and the way he landed, he was tackled and was bent. His legs were forward, but he was bent backwards on it. And you can literally see his ankle twisted to the right. His left ankle was forward. His right ankle was twisted to the left. And I'm it's not supposed to have been like that. So Cam Skattebo is out for the season. And the Giants, that sucks for them. First it was Malik Neighbors. Now it's Cam Skattebo. They had something going, but their future players got injured, and that just sucks for their development. And hoping both of them get much better and are healthy. So that's an injury that happened. The next injury that happened, Ed Oliver is out indefinitely with torn bicep, and they're saying that he might be out until the playoffs starts. So maybe around week 18, beginning of playoffs when he'll start. That's a tough loss for the Bills because they need him. He's a really good inside defensive lineman, and he's able to stop the run, get sacks from the quarterback. And you need a big body like that in order to win games. So tough. That's a tough loss. They need other players to step up because their defense has not been as good this season as people have thought. And the Bills' defense hasn't. So see if he gets healthy and see if the Bills can still stay consistent. Their offense is solid. See if their defense can stay consistent. Next, Patrick Surtain has had shoulder injury. He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. Sucks for the Broncos. And then Carson Wentz is going to have season-ending surgery. It's going to make it even worse for the Vikings because if J.J. McCarthy isn't healthy, they're going to have to play an undrafted rookie, Max Brosman. I have no idea who the heck that is, but that's how they're looking at right now. So, and speaking of the Vikings, that's their first game that will on Thursday Night Football. Vikings versus Chargers. Vikings and Carson Wentz got beat up the whole game. He had like an arm brace on his left arm, and you can see every time he got up, he immediately started holding his shoulder, and he looked like he was crying. It was hurt that bad. He literally got beat up, smacked in the mouth by the Chargers and their rushing defense. It was tough for him to hold that football and throw it to the wide receivers. He was literally holding his shoulder every time. So Vikings, they have questions in their quarterback room, and they have questions that they have to answer for the rest of the season. People are saying, like, if J.J. McCarthy plays good during the beginning of the season, that he'll still be a playoff team. I never saw the hype in J.J. McCarthy. When he was picked 12th overall, I didn't see it because at Michigan, he was kind of like a manager. What was that called? Not a QB manager. But you know what I'm saying? Someone that doesn't make mistakes like that. It just passes it and just gives it to the running back. So I know I wasn't ever that high on J.J. McCarthy in the past 2 games. Other than one quarter, didn't really look good like that. So see what the Vikings do. As for the Chargers, the Lions getting healthy. They're getting healthier, and with the Mario Hampton eventually coming back, Chargers are going to be on the up and up and able to threaten this division, the AFC West division, challenge the Broncos and Chargers. So look out for the Chargers. They're getting healthier and defense playing well and playing good. Next, the Jets defeat the Bengals this weekend with the absolute best game of the week, with the Jets beating the Bengals 39-38. Congratulations to the New York Jets for picking up their first win. I feel like this, let's say Nick Mangold, him passing away, his spirit was able to come through the Jets and help them win the game. It's a good win for the Jets, especially because of the passing of Nick Mangold. I feel like he spread his love down and was able to make the Jets win this game. So good win for the Jets. Justin Fields looked good out there. Breece Hall looked good out there. Was able to run all over the Bengals defense, and this saved their chances. This saved them from being 0-8 and the 0-17 challenge. And the good isn't possible, but Jets still not good, but good first win. As for the Bengals, what a missed opportunity, because with the Steelers losing, they had a chance to become 4-4 and make things really interesting in the AFC North. But their loss this weekend was rough, and their defense is absolutely atrocious. And other than Trey Hendrickson, they got nothing on defense. Their defense is absolutely atrocious. And they were not able to stop the Jets. And Breece Hall, in order to win the game, he was going to pass the football. And he did a pump fake, throw it out of bounds, and he was about to get out of bounds. But he literally threw it out of bounds to the tight end, Mason Taylor, for a absolute crazy touchdown game winner. So credit to the Jets for that. And the Bengals defense is literally atrocious. They allowed the Jets to score 23 points. It is the second largest comeback in Jets history in the fourth quarter. So credit for the Jets for taking advantage. And the Bengals defense is absolutely atrocious. They're going to have to win their next 2 games in order to stay over 500 and have a chance. So see what they do. And as for the Jets, good win. And look, the Jets are still not good, but it's a good win for them. As for the Bengals, a missed opportunity. Next game, Eagles and Giants. Eagles handled their business. Saquon Barkley finally had a good game with 150 rushing yards and a touchdown. He also had a receiving touchdown with 24 yards. And Tank Bigsby out the backfield behind him, he also had 100 yards. So it was a good running duo by them. Then Hurts had 4 touchdowns. Devontae Smith got to have the ball. So Eagles, this is a good right game for the Eagles, and as for the Giants, tough loss, and they just need to just make sure I do whatever I can to make sure Jackson Dart is healthy. So, good win by Eagles. There wasn't really much to talk about in this game. Good win by Eagles. Tough loss for Giants. Next, the Ravens defeat the Bears. Ravens are starting to get healthy. I don't know why they started Cooper Rush over Snoop Huntley. The reason that Tyler, which his name is Tyler Hunter, the reason Tyler Hunter is called Snoop Huntley is because they say in high school, he said that his coach said he looked like Snoop Dogg. So they should have never put in Cooper Rush. They should have stuck with Tyler Huntley because he was on the team before. And it looked way better with him as the starting quarterback. So watch out. Lamar Jackson is expected to come back and play tomorrow. So he's back. And Ravens could be back as the AFC North contender, win the AFC North. So watch out for that. And they literally is going to have to go on a 6-game win streak in order to 6 to 7 game win streak in order to get some positive momentum into the lead in the division, AFC North, and we'll see how they do. Texans versus 49ers. Texans, this is the best game that Texans has had this whole season. C.J. Stroud had 318 yards, 2 touchdowns, and people like Woody Marks and Xavier Hutchinson look good out there. Their offense, with Tank Dell and Nico Collins being out, their offense looked really good. As for the Niners, they got too many injuries on their team. They literally have too many injuries to overcome their team right now. They need all their players back. Christian McCaffrey is still doing out there and doing a lot for them, but they need all their players back. So, tough loss. I think the 49ers are still can make the playoffs overall because they show that they can with this depleting roster. But once their LT players come back, they'll be even better. So, but as of right now, tough loss for the 49ers, good win for the Texans to bounce back. Next up, wasn't really too many good games. Broncos defeat the Cowboys 44-24. Look, the Cowboys defense is not good. They're like one of the worst teams in the NFL. Worst defense in the NFL. The offense is probably like one of the best offenses in the league, but their defense is the main reason why the offense struggled because there's too many times where the offense for the Broncos could score and do whatever they want. And the Broncos were up 27-10 at halftime. It was pretty much all ours in the beginning, and the Cowboys couldn't really do anything. So, Broncos, good win. They'll be up there battling for the division title in the AFC West for the Cowboys. It's been a mixed bag for the season. Cowboys haven't really been able to do as much defensively, but they've been good offensively. So, another impressive win for the Broncos to be 6-2 and continue to have momentum. The Chiefs handled their business. Commanders didn't have Jane Daniels. It wasn't really take much from this game. Travis Kelce looked good. Patrick Mahomes looked good. He's looking like the MVP candidate right now. And see how far the Chiefs go. They got a tough game this week. We'll talk about it later in this game. So that's what I mean. And then for this last game that I'm really getting into depth to and rant about, the Packers face the Steelers, and Packers defeat the Steelers 35-25. First, I want to start with the Packers. They look really good out there. Jordan Love was in prime fashion. He did whatever he wanted over there. 360 yards, 3 touchdowns, 29-37, had QBR 89.1 and quarterback rating of 134.2. He played great out there. They couldn't really get him running going until the third quarter, which Emmanuel Wilson was able to come up there and run the football against the Steelers, against us. And he's able to come out the backfield, too. So, overall good game. Then Micah Parsons came up with a sack. And then their defense came out and stepped up. So, it looked really good out there. And Packers, offensively, they were struggling. They were down 7-16, but they looked real good out there. And Packers look real good, and they'll be looking to ball for the rest of the season. And Tucker Crown, 7 receptions for 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, most definitely a player of the game, mixed with Jordan Love. It's National Titans Day, so they were most definitely going to give him the ball. And Christian Watson, him being back, adds another dimension to his team. So, going to win for the Packers. And hold on. It's rant time, so let me get some water real quick. I got a lot to say about this team, bro. Let's start with the defense. The defense is absolutely sorry. It's absolutely garbage. This team makes no sense. They have the pieces defensively. They have all the players. They really should be a top 10 team in defense. But the defense is absolutely garbage. The defense right now is literally not playing good, bro. I got to look up their stats. 30th in overall team defense. We're 32nd in pass defense, and we're 19th in rush defense. And literally, we play the same position, same plays, and I don't know, this damn bad defense, bro. With Terrell Austin as a defensive coordinator, he needs to be fired. He needs to be fired because all the stats, all the games, we have been cooked and it's becoming the same thing over and over and over again. Like, I'm tired of seeing this. I'm tired of seeing our defense not being able to tackle and not be able to guard anyone. The offense is doing it. I got no problem with the offense. We were up 16-7 in this game. I'm a Steelers fan. That's why we were up 16-7 in this game. We had control of the division. We were up 4-1. The Bengals were 2-4 beginning of the season. The Ravens and the Browns were 1-5. We were 4-1 and had control of this division, and we blow both games. And before we faced the Bengals, I was like, you know what? If we lose this game, usually games are on Thursday Night Football and games that we need to win to take control of the standings. I feel like I'm not surprised if we lose. And we freaking suck on defense, bro. I'm going to look at every single game that we had because literally every single game that we've had this year, our defense had let up a lot of points. Let me go. Against the Jets this beginning of the season, we beat them 34-32, but we had 271 total yards. They had 394 total yards. Against the Seahawks this season, I know we had Caleb Johnson make that mistake, but we had 267 total yards. They had 395 total yards. Against the Patriots, we won that game, but we really should have lost because of how bad the defense was playing. We only won because the Patriots had those 5 turnovers. But they had 203 yards. We had 203 yards. They had 369 yards. Against the Vikings in Dublin, we won that game, but we had 313 yards, but they had 372 yards. And they kept on getting our team, the play calling of that game was stupid. We were having flag after flag for the defense, and we should have lost that game because the defense was piss poor. But we won that game. Browns game, we were able to handle our business. Browns are the Browns, so we were able to beat them. But then you look at the following game, go up 4-1 in the division. I'm like, we have a good chance if the teams struggle, if the things go how we go, then we should be leading the division and capture the division, right? Right? No, not right. The next game against the Bengals, we lose. But in this game, with the most expensive defense in the NFL, we had 396 yards. They had 470 yards. Joe Flacco was looking like Payne Manning out there. They could not guard Jamar Chase one-on-one. They had the same man-to-man defense. They did not switch it up. Did not have zone. It didn't matter who guarded him. Joey Porter Jr. guarded him. He got cooked. Darius Slay was on him. He got cooked. Jalen Ramsey was on him. Got cooked. He had 16 receptions for 160 yards and I think a touchdown or 2 touchdowns. Let me make sure to check because this game absolutely disappointed me and made me absolutely frustrated in this team, bro. This defense is absolutely not good. Not good at all. And now my phone wants to mess up. Now this phone wants to make me upset, bro. Yeah, we were outscored in defense. We were outscored in offense. Like, literally, bro. I'm looking at these stats. Of course, my phone wants to act up when I'm trying to ramble my team. But I'm going to keep saying it. The defense is not good. I feel like he's doing this on purpose because it doesn't want me to rant and complain with them anymore. You know, I forget this phone. Here, I'm looking at it on my computer because that's pissing me off. Let's go to the Bengals game. Okay, we got it right here. Yeah, Joe Flacco, 342 passing yards, 347, 3 touchdowns. Chase Brown, before that game, was not able to rush the ball for more than 60 yards per game. He had 108 yards, 11 carries. Jamar Chase got targeted 23 times. He had 16 catches for 161 yards and a touchdown. T. Higgins had 6 receptions for 96 yards and a touchdown. Andrew Josephat, he's terrible. He's one of the worst wide receivers in the game. And Joe Flacco threw a deep bomb to him in order to give him another touchdown. And he's a garbage wide receiver. And then finally, in our game, this up-pass game against the Packers, we lose 35-25. And you want to hear these stats? You want to hear these stats? These damn stats? We had 295 total yards. They had 454 total yards. Our defense can't tackle. Our defense can't sack. Our defense can't do anything. We're the most expensive defense in the league, bro. This defense is trash, and they're really going to have to show me something in this weekend. Because if we can't, this week when we face the Colts, if we cannot beat the Colts, we're going to get smacked in the mouth and lose 40-6. Like, I promise you, if our defense does not play good, then this is going to disappoint me. I'm like, just rebuild the whole entire season, bro. Because our defense is sorry. Our defense is absolutely garbage, and I'm tired of this. Terrell Austin, he needs to be fired because he calls the same plays. You saw in the Packers game, they moved Michael Parsons around on the left side, on the middle side, all over, and he's lined up from the linebacker position and rushed the quarterback. TJ Watt is on the same left side the whole game. They only switched him like once or twice in the game, but he's on the same left side the whole game. Ronnie Harrison said, our defense is disturbing. Our defense is garbage, and if we don't make rotations, we're going to lose every single game because basically all you got to do is just run the ball and throw it to your superstar wide receiver. So that's basically what's going to happen. And I'm sorry, this defense is sorry, piss poor, and just not good. This just shows me, if we keep being like this, shows why we're going to be 10-7-98. We had a 10-3 lead last year on the division. We were leading the division with a 10-3 record, and in that game, we lost every single game, 5 straight in a row. We went against the Eagles, and we were close in that game. But stupid stuff happened. Russell Wilson threw a toss to Najee Harris. He fumbles the football. Eagles took control of the whole game. We lost. Then we faced the Ravens. We had opportunities in that game. Russell Wilson was about to score, but he tried stupidly jumping over the defender, lost the ball, fumbled, and we had chances in that game. So we were scoring, and then Russell Wilson threw a pick six. Game was over. We lost that game. And then against the Chiefs on Christmas Day, the Chiefs beat us because they were more talented and did more stuff against us. Again, then against the Bengals, I'm not even trying to throw shade on the Bengals and not even saying that they didn't deserve it, but they won. Our defense stepped up, and the offense didn't do their thing last year. We lost 17-16 or 19-17. And then we went into the playoffs last season, and the Ravens absolutely smacked us in the mouth, and we were losing 21-0 at halftime. Derrick Henry ran all over us. Lamar Jackson ran all over us. And all this, and it led to this year where basically all the stuff keeps on happening. all you got to do is basically throw against our defense and run against our defense. Our defense is acting piss poor right now, and I have no faith in the defense. We do this again, they're going to have to really show me some of these next 2 games because we got the Colts, then the Chargers, then the Bengals, Bears, Bills, Ravens are getting healthy, Dolphins, Lions, Browns, Ravens. If our defense does not play good, we're going to lose every single game for the rest of this season. If our defense is going to be like this, I want us to rebuild and freaking stop doing this and stop being 9-8, 10-7. Because doing that every single season is absolutely stupid, and I'm tired of it. Just lose every game. If you're not going to be a Super Bowl contender, just lose every game because there's no point in doing the same thing over and over again. And if it's going to keep being like this and we have to rebuild, Mike Tomlin should be let go. I think it's time. His message is not in the locker room. So we need to do something right now with this team, and I'm tired of it. Literally, it's been like that. It's been like that for the past 5 years. I look at this. It's been like that the past 5 years. The damn past 5 years. I'm tired of seeing us be 10-7, 9-8. And since 2021, it's literally been 9-8, 9-8, 10-7, 10-7. And with how it's going this year, we're going to be 9-8 or 10-7. So I'm tired of this. Every time we get in a close game, we have the most one-score games. We can never blow out teams because in the past, it'll be our offense not playing good and our defense has to step up. Now we're relying on the offense and then on trying to win this game. Aaron Rodgers has done their part. The offense has been doing solid. Defense has just not been standing up. So we can never have a consistent game at all. I haven't seen us blow out a team since 2020. And ever since the end of the 2020 season, it's just been piss poor effort. I'm tired of doing this. And if we're not going to win any games like this, just rebuild because I'm tired of this. And all the damn excuses and all the flags and all the stupid mistakes. So we need to just stop. The Colts, they're going to have to show me something because if we get blown up by the Colts, I'm done with the season. I'm done with this team. And I just expect us to go 9-8, 10-7 and lose first round the wild card. They need to fix all these problems right now. All right. I got all my vetting out the way, so that felt good. That felt good. So, all right, we'll get into the predictions now. Ravens, Dolphins. I want the Ravens to lose because in order for us to win the division, we're going to have that everyone else lose because our defense can't guard anyone. So I'm hoping the Dolphins win this game. Steelers, Colts. If we win this game, I'm not surprised because the Colts are a newer team. But but teams are established like the Eagles, Packers, Chiefs, Bills, even the Chargers, well-established teams that have been here and been know what they want for years, and we never beat those teams. So I'm not surprised we beat the Colts. I'm rooting for our team, but if we also lose and Jonathan Taylor runs for 200 yards and Daniel Jones throws for 400 yards and one of the receivers had over 200 yards, I'm not surprised. Whenever teams face us, it's a get right game for them. And whenever we play Renegade, our defense never steps up and their team always freaking gets momentum. When's the last time you heard us play Renegade and we get a stop? Never. I haven't seen it this year. It's never happened. It just hypes up the other team. And literally and if it's 3rd and 12, 3rd and 14, they'll get 12 yards and it'll be 4th and 2. They go for it and they get the first down. This happens over and over again. So that's my thing. We can beat this game. They're going to really show me something. If we beat the Colts, I'll be much better. But if we get blown on 40-6, 40-21, I'm not surprised. So I'm rooting for my team to win. Bengals, Bears. Bengals, I was about to say, they're trying to keep their momentum up. And got the Bengals winning because I think they need to have the momentum up. Lions, Vikings, got Lions. Packers, we got them winning. Broncos, Texans, got the Broncos. Vikings, Lions, like I said, Lions. And then Chiefs, Bills. I got the Bills winning because they always win the regular season. And they always win whenever they face Chiefs in the regular season. So those are my NFL predictions and reactions and my rant about our stupid defense being god-awful. And after this, we're going to take a 5-minute break and talk about through some of the performances of the NBA. So we'll be right back. Welcome back to the WXUT radio show, which is the Vibin with JJ show. We're going to now talk about some performances and talk about the performances of some players. First up, the Boston Celtics. They're 1-3 right now. The loss of having Jason Tatum not in their lineup is affecting them. Jaylen Brown, I mean, he's averaging 26 points per game. I mean, he has to be the leading scorer in order for them to win games. But he can't carry them right now. And people were like bragging and saying like, oh, Jaylen Brown's the best player. Jason Terry just carries. Now you can see that they're not doing good and can't really do much. Their defense is ass because they trade all those players and stuff. So Jaylen Brown, I mean, he's doing his things, trying to do something, but other than that, they can't really do anything. Derrick Wright, he's averaging 17 points, but shooting at just 33%. Wow. That's crazy. 33% from the field. That's insane. I think they're just asking him to do too much. Yeah, 33% from the field, 25% from three. So, yeah, the Celtics are struggling. They're trying to bounce back and stuff like that and get some wins. The Thunder faced the Pacers in double overtime, 141 to 135. Shea had to score 55 points in order for them to win. So it was tough for them. And again, Ajay Mitchell off the bench with 26 points. He's been really impressive this season. And Thunder still look like a championship team. And as for the Pacers, they're really fighting this game. Benedict Mathurin had 36 points. Pascal Siakam had 32 points. Obi Toppin had 20 off the bench. Jarris Walker had 13 off the bench, 15 off the bench for Ben Shepherd. The Thunder have been like showing like why they're a really good team. Currently, they're 5-0 right now. Has been defeating teams left and right, and I think they can most definitely repeat as champions for sure. So they've been really good. Next game we talk about is the Warriors defeating the Nuggets in overtime. Steph Curry is showing why he's Steph Curry. He's one of the greatest shooters of all time. He had 42 points and 6 threes and everything like that. So he's really good. Aaron Gordon had 50 points in that game and literally was like really good for them. Had 10 and 11 threes and still lost. And he was saying that it sucks to have the wins that had the points, but not get the victory. So I can understand that. But he was looking absolutely dynamite out there and just everything like that. Victor Wembanyama, let me tell you, he's been absolutely dominating out there. He is dynamite, and he is for sure one of the candidates for MVP right now. Victor Wembanyama right now, it's averaging 31 points, 14 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 blocks, 2 steals on 60% from the field and 30% from three. No one can stop Victor Wembanyama, and he's going to lead the Spurs to a playoff team because he's that good. When he's on the court, they're one of the best defenses, if not maybe the best defense in the league. And I feel like, you know how in my career on 2K, if you play my league, it'll have Victor Wembanyama have like win the defensive player of the year 7 years in a row. This is going, as long as he stays healthy, he's going to keep winning this award and continue doing good. So Victor Wembanyama is so dominant, and literally, if he carries the Spurs to like 50 wins, 60 wins, he's going to win MVP. So he's literally been super good this year. I'm not surprised if he wins MVP. The next person I want to get into is Luka. I'm about to say he's been injured and he's going to be out for a week. But before that, he was also a good player that can win MVP. He had 43 in the first game, and then against the Timberwolves, he had 49 with LeBron out. Him and Austin Reeves have been both good. And literally 49 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists. He's literally also an MVP candidate. If he can do good as well, they're most definitely can do it. And LeBron comes back, they're mostly can be up there and compete, and Luka can be an MVP for sure. And then VJ Edgecombe has been looking really good as a rookie. No one can stop him. If Joel can be healthy and play good, and Paul George can come back and play good with VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey been playing good, then they can for sure step up in this game. Yeah, so that looked good. And then Austin Reeves, again, going back to the Lakers, he looked real good the past 2 games. Like last game against the Blazers, he had 41 points, and he's been playing crazy. The last game they played, he scored 51 points. So Austin Reeves, I mean, I know he like flops a lot of the time from time to time, but he gets buckets and he's like real methodical when it comes to his offense and everything. So good. He's really good. You're probably going to use him for a trade in order to get a better player, stuff of that nature. So Lakers are good. And if we want to look at the standings, I will say I'll have more of a understanding of how I want to tell about the season, how I want to talk about the NBA next year, because there's so much stuff that's in. Oh, yeah, and the weekends we talk about the biggest story in the season and in sports, and that's the Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, Damon Jones gambling thing. So all of them, no one knows, they all got arrested with 30 other people for different sport gambling things. Terry Rozier for sports betting, Chauncey Billups for rigging poker games, and Damon Jones being involved in both the sports gambling and fake poker games. So this is going to lead to the question of more and more players going to get exposed, and it could be a really bad thing for all sports leagues because FanDuel, DraftKings, all those sites, ESPN Bet, have all been like sponsored by these leagues. So I don't know. It might be tough, and I think they should get rid of sportsmen because this is addicting, and people are like rigging games and like not playing well just so they can reach a number. Then it's not going to be good. So I don't know how far this is going to go for the NBA and the bets. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to cut out this NBA talk because my computer's about to die. So that's the show. And I can say the dad joke of the day. So the dad joke basically is, what do you call a marathon for pastors? A rev run. This is the Vibin with JJ show, and have a good day.